So, when we speak about Western Azerbaijani community, of course, the first issue that we have in mind is the right of return to their ancestral lands and the cultural heritage that has been destroyed, but the community looks forward to the reconstruction of this cultural heritage, tangible and intangible, and what kind of legal, international legal and moral foundations we have for these kind of right of return. And this is what we will discuss in our first panel. I would like to start with Dr. Yaşar Sarı, our good friend from Ibn Khaldun University, head of the Heydar Aliyev Eurasian Research Center. Dr. Sarı, the floor is yours, please.
Before I will make my presentation, I would like to thank the Western Azerbaijan community and organizing this conference, this activity, inviting us. First, I would like to little bit talk about what we are doing in Ibn Khaldun University, Heydar Aliyev Center for Eurasian Studies. We are publishing books and articles related current subject. For example, recently this year we published Turgut Oğulları and Revan Türkanlı. This is author is here, Turhan Turgut. He is the last Han, we can call the Han of the Revan. And we also published book about the Azerbaijan with our young colleagues. So my presentation about the legal and moral foundation for the right to return of the Western Azerbaijanis. Before me already the distinguished participants and speakers talk about the certain aspects of the Western Azerbaijan's right. So my talk is about the historical context, legal foundation, moral argument, cultural heritage, and the current status. Probably from this presentation, you can see the map of the Western Azerbaijanis living in Western Azerbaijan. If you look at the starting from the 1886, they were majority in the current territory of Armenia, but from 1886, 1926, 1962, and 2021. So in the map, you can see there is none Western Azerbaijanis left in the region. So what happened? The first mass expulsion we saw between 1905, 1906, 1918, 1920, 1948, 1953, 1987, and 1991. So this is during the time of the Russian Tsarist Empire, Soviet Union, the Western Azerbaijan is emptied from their own homeland. In that way, they did a demographic transformation. Region where Azerbaijanis once constituted absolute majority were transferred into exclusively ethnic Armenian-dominated area. This is systematically done by the state, not only Armenian, but the government of the Russian Tsarist Empire and the Soviet Union. So we can say that historical injustice made the Western Azerbaijanis. What we can do, first we can look at the legal document, which is the emphasis on the right to return of the people who expelled their own territory. Already emphasized, I will not deeply talk about them, but I highlighted important legal instrument document in that sense. One is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Article 12, the Section 2 already mentioned this very clearly. Everyone has the right to return his own country, his homeland. The second is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. That also reinforces the right to return as a fundamental human right. The third one is the European Court of the Human Rights jurisprudence, which is case such as Chirakov versus Armenia, has helped to define the scope and normative content of right to return based on the international law. There are also legal precedents and the comparative cases which we can see. That's happened in Bosnia and Palestine. These cases provide important comparative perspective on the implementing return right in the post-conflict context and in that sense. What is the moral ethical foundation? First is the correcting the historical injustice. The expulsion of the Western Azerbaijanis from the Western Azerbaijan is not happened just one time. This is the centuries-long the expulsion. So we need to break this cycle of the impunity. So we need to address the historical injustice so that way to prevent this kind of injustice not happen again. What is the foundation for sustainable peace? As we know already, Azerbaijan government and the Armenian government is talking about the peace process. Peace process also need to have the moral responsibility to Western Azerbaijan return their homeland, and this peace process, the Armenian government has responsible to providing security through justice. So when we are talking about the expulsion of the human being, we are not only talking about the just human being, but also cultural heritage, which is mainly those Azerbaijani cultural heritage in Western Azerbaijan destroyed, and some of the cultural heritage is given another country to rebuild, restore. So first is to prevent the cultural discrimination should be eliminated. Cultural heritage site will be protected, even destroy, then reconstruct. International, in that sense, the international legal convention providing kind of framework for us to protecting the cultural heritage. One is the 1954 Hague Convention, and the other is the Human Rights and Cultural Heritage Nexus, which we can see. What we can done to this injustice fix, and the Western Azerbaijan can return their homeland. The first, there should be certain phases. The first phases is related international agreement. Already international convention is the mentioning legal right to return of these people, but also bilateral agreement between Azerbaijan and the Armenia can be helpful to provide. So to ensure voluntary return in safety and dignity is important part of that one. And second step is after the agreement, need to have the comprehensive planning for return. So security, humanitarian and socio-economic assistance programs alongside with the international monitoring, accountabilities, intervention mechanism need to be created. In that part is the United Nations should involve this process, especially United Nations High Commission for Refugees should take the responsibility and create the suitable condition to this one. So what can be happen, the protection after return mechanism should be created, cultural right protection, the collective right and connection to Azerbaijan government. So my chair is warning me, so I will summarize and make the conclusion. What we see the recent development, the peace negotiation between Armenia and Azerbaijan is the good starting point. But peace negotiation also include the Western Azerbaijan's right to return to the Western Azerbaijan territory, which is considered today Armenian territory. The second thing is the Armenians should stop the resistance to refusing to the Western Azerbaijan to return their own homeland and accept the responsibility for all the crimes done to Western Azerbaijani people and cultural structure in that sense. And so the last thing is what I will conclude, justice and for sustainable peace need to have the three important points. One is the legal and the moral imperative. Right of return for Western Azerbaijanis represent both the fundamental human right under international law and also a moral imperative to correct historical wrongdoing that have persisted over the centuries. Second is the holistic approach. Successful implementation of the return require addressing both physical return and cultural restoration, recognizing that cultural heritage is the link, the community identity, and the survival. The last point, which is I will complete my presentation, foundation for the peace. So as expressed by the Western Azerbaijan community and their leadership, the restoration of the rights to Western Azerbaijanis represent not just ratifying past wrong, but creating the essential condition for lasting peace and justice in the region between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Thank you for listening to me.